So ladies, we are gonna start on our backs today. So find a comfortable position mid-mat, extend your legs out, little separation between the legs. I want you to have, if you have blocks or pillows, you can support the legs. Just gives it a nice little rest, and it also gets you to root down a little bit more to the small of the back, the lumbar and the sacral region. And then if you don't have blocks, don't worry about it, but again, it's a nice option. I want you to feel expansive across the back body, the shoulders, and I want you to flip the palms to the heavens, rotate them open to the heavens. Now, those arms can be out in a T, they could be in a stop sign, they could be down in a V, whatever feels comfortable. Take a moment, close the eyes. We're not going to do anything special with the breath, we're just going to observe it, but I'm going to ask you to close your mouth so that you can breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Just observe the expansion of the belly and the lungs with each inhalation, and how everything settles and melts a little bit deeper into the mat with each exhalation. Because it's our first class of 2025, if you'd like to set an intention for the class or for the year, by all means, go ahead and do that now. And as you lie here, take a little journey around the body, checking in with the muscles and joints, either starting with the top of the head or the tip of the toes, and then working in the opposite direction, checking in with the muscles, the joints. Getting a gauge on how your headspace is this morning, what your energy level's like. Now, wherever your arms are, I want you to take them in a T. I want you to float them up so that the palms come together. Spread the fingers. Retract the shoulders, pressing the shoulder blades into the mat. And then with the next exhale, send those thumbs back. Big reach. As far back as you can. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, retract. Flatten out those shoulder blades. Once again, big breath in. Send the fingers towards the heavens, and on the exhale, send those thumbs back. Now take the palms apart. Palms are towards the heavens, and we're going to clasp the right wrist with the left hand. We're going to inhale those right fingers away from the body. Keep the sit bones grounded, and we're just bending at the waist, sending the right fingers towards the left corner of the mat. Big side body stretch here. At the same time, gently encourage that arm further away from the body. So we're getting into the intercostals, that side body, nice little bend for the spine. Hold here. And now come on back to center. We're going to switch that up. We're going to reach for that left wrist with the right hand. Inhale, send those fingers away. And then on the exhale, send those left fingers towards the right corner of the mat. Big stretch. And again, gently encourage those fingers further away. Noticing any difference from the left side of the body versus the right side. And last breath here, coming back to center. We're going to send those arms straight up above the shoulders. So we're stacked, wrists, elbows, and shoulders. Retract the shoulders again, so we're opening up through the heart. Bring those palms together. And now we're going to hinge at the elbow. Send those thumbs back. A little stretch in the tricep, really small stretch. Go ahead and extend those fingers up towards the heavens. One more time, send those thumbs back. Keeping those elbows tight. And now extend one more time. Go ahead and send those arms alongside of the body. We're going to float both knees to the chest. And at this point, you're going to send those blocks aside if you were using them, or those pillows. You want to have your strap handy. Go ahead and float those knees up again. Don't get rid of those blocks or pillows completely. We'll call on them momentarily. But send those knees towards the chest. And now flatten out through the spine as we send those knees away. So just a little rock here before we take it from side to side. Bring the knees to the chest, tailbone's gonna lift. Exhale, flatten out to the back. We'll do that one more time. Knees to the chest. And exhale. Well, now we're going to take it from side to side. So rolling from the right hip to the left hip. And again, I want you to play with where those knees are in relationship to the torso. Knowing that when we send those knees further away, we take that lovely massage down through the spine, rolling side to side. And now come on back to center. We're going to take those hands to the knees, separate those knees, and let's make some circles with those knees. So we're getting into the hip socket. While we're doing that, go ahead and play with the ankles. You can rotate them or flex them. If that's too much coordination, don't worry about it. And now go ahead and switch directions. It's like patting your head and rubbing your belly. And now come on back to center. Just let those knees get heavy towards the mat. And now point and flex the toes. A couple little pumps here, waking up the ankles. And now 3 circles in one direction, nice and slow. Little pause, 3 circles in the other direction. Now go ahead and take those feet towards the heaven. Find your happy baby. Clasping either the outside of the feet or the ankles. Take a little roll once again. And again, you can linger here, or you can start to play and extend through one leg. You can float one knee towards the mat. Again, we're not in any rush today. Last one. And now come on back to center. Let those heels get heavy towards the sit bones. We're going to extend that left leg away. Bring that right knee a little closer. And then allow that right knee to float to the outside of that right shoulder, making sure that left sit bone stays nice and firm on the mat. So again, little adductor work, getting into that inner thigh. Come on back to center. Ladies, you're going to want to reach for your strap here. If you don't have a strap, you can always grab for your wrist or your big toe, depending on how open those hamstrings are. Now send that leg straight up. So we stack it above the hip. Sometimes it feels nice just to cross that strap over, a little bit more control over the foot. And we're going to start by sending the toes towards the shin. So waking up that calf muscle even more. So we're keeping that leg stacked to start. Send the heels to the heavens, toes to the shin. And now start to play with where that leg is. If you want to start to send the toes towards the chest. Again, energy is going from the glute up through the hamstring, up through the calf, through that heel towards the heavens. And then float that leg wherever it feels right. So you feel a nice, comfortable stretch. You don't want to feel discomfort. Wherever you end up, let's linger. Go ahead and float that leg back up above the hip socket. We're going to take the strap in the right hand this time. And we're going to start to send that right leg off to the right. So keep the left shoulder grounded, keep that left hip grounded. If it wants to float up on you, just take your hand there as a reminder that you want to keep that nice and tight. Send that right leg off to the side, wherever it makes sense. And then go ahead and play with where those toes are in relationship to the shoulder. Again, send the heel away, toes to the shin, find your stretch. So the leg will go further if we lift that left hip. We don't want to do that. So we keep that nice and grounded. And we find that opening on the right side, hold. And now float that leg back up the center. We're gonna take the strap into the left hand this time. Right shoulder stays grounded. That right hip is gonna come off the mat, and that's okay this time. Go ahead and send that right leg off to the left. There's your twist. Shine that right hip to the heavens. Keep the right shoulder planted. And now once again, take those toes wherever it feels right. We melt them towards the shoulder. You'll get a bigger opening to the back of the leg. We hold. And if you like, take that right ear to the mat as we gaze out at that right thumb and hold. Last breath here. Go ahead and float that leg straight up. We're gonna bend that knee and just take that strap away. Send that right leg down the mat. Feel how long it feels now? Go ahead and float that left knee towards the chest. Interlace your fingers on that shin again. You can take some movement to the ankle if you'd like. And now with that next exhale, send that knee to the outside of that left shoulder. Again, important to keep that right sit bone grounded. Shoulders are firm on the mat. What a nice way to start off the year with some leisure stretches. In our busy lives, we tend to forget the things that are the most important, like a good stretch, because we're so busy on trying to get our workout in and forget the stretching. Come on back to center. When you're ready, reach for that strap. Once again, take that leg straight up. Bring the toes towards the shin, heel towards the heavens. We're stacked. And find a stretch in that calf first. And then when you're ready in your own time, start to float those toes towards the head. Sending the energy from the glutes through the hamstring, calf, heel. If you're particularly tight today, you can keep a softness in that knee. You know you can. Your practice, your rules, always remember that. Listen to your body. It will guide you. It will keep you safe if you adhere to its instructions. So again, message here, get out of your head, get into your body. Last breath here. Go ahead and float that leg back up to where it started. We're going to take the strap in the left hand. Keeping that right sit bone grounded, right shoulder grounded. Take that leg off to the left. And now once again, float it anywhere you like, close to the shoulder. Again, if that right hip wants to pop up, take that right hand on top of it as a reminder that it needs to stay grounded. Find your stretch here. Last breath here. Come on back to center. We're going to take the strap in the right hand this time. When you're ready, float that leg off to the side. So again, the shoulder stays grounded. The left leg melts to the right. Take those toes anywhere you like, maybe towards the shoulder. And then take that left ear towards the mat, gaze out at that left thumb and hold here. Last breath here. Come on back to center. We're going to bend that knee slightly so we can remove the strap. Take the right knee alongside of the left. Send both those legs up. Point the toes. Arms are alongside the body, either in a V or a T. Little circles on the ceiling. So we're really focusing on the sacrum, lower lumbar region. Circles are small to start. And now those circles can start to get a little bigger. Go ahead and take a pause. Send it the other way. Last one here. Taking the arms alongside the body, float them above the mat, palms face each other. Imprint through the spine, pull neck, head, and shoulders up, but just hold here. Just waking up the belly a little bit. Relax through the shoulders, no tension. Float the right leg down, hover above the mat and hold. Go ahead and switch the right leg up for the left. We're just going to do this a couple times again, just to wake up the belly. Return, send the right leg away. Come on back, send that left leg away. Come on back. Last time, right leg floats away. Come on back, left leg floats away. Now keep both legs up, relax neck, head, and shoulders. You can take a softness through the knees. What I want to make sure you do is not use your arms to lift the tail. You can also cross the hands over the chest on opposite shoulders so you don't get tempted. And all we're going to do is nice and slow, take those knees towards the shoulders as we pick up the tail. For 5, slow. 4, little reverse curl here. 3, 2, last one, come on back and sit down. Take the arms alongside of the body, we're coming into plow. Start to float those toes back. Option to take the hands on the small of the back or keep the hands alongside the body. Toes are on the mat. If that's too much, you can always take blocks or pillows and then rest the toes on there. You want more, let those knees drop on either side. So again, I say this all the time, we're weight bearing on the neck here. Critical that you don't twist the neck. You're looking straight up through the heavens. We hold here. And now slowly with control, take the spine one vertebrae at a time back onto the mat. From here, nice and slow. Now, ladies, option to hinge at the knees makes it a little easier. We're going to take the legs all the way down to the mat. Don't buckle through the lower back. Keep it nice and firm. The moment you think you are going to buckle, go ahead and let one leg float down. Again, we don't want to create any tension. So once you start losing it, one leg comes down, the other leg comes down. Take the arms alongside of the body. We're imprinted through the small of the back. So float that spine a little deeper into the mat. And now start to pull the shoulders away from the mat. The head, nice and slow. We're going to peel the vertebrae off one at a time. So again, we've got that strap nice and handy, so let's call on it one more time. Take the strap to the arches of the feet. Inhale, get tall, so stack the spine, roll the shoulders away from the ears. And then when you're ready, soften. So again, you're not in any rush. Maybe go halfway. See how that feels into the back and the legs. We hold on to that. And then another big breath in. Exhale, soften again. One more time, big breath in. And then come to your limit. Where it feels right. Again, you can always take a pillow on your thighs and rest your belly on your thighs. Find your stretch. And now slowly release that. Now I'm going to take my strap away. And I'm going to take my right hand to the outside of my right foot. We're going to take that shin parallel to the mat. We're going to send that leg away. But as you do, I want you to linger here and feel that stretch in the opening through the upper quadrant of the back, shoulder blades, the lats. And now take that knee behind the shoulder. Send it away. So nice, slow it right down, linger for a couple breaths, send it back. And once again, linger, send it away, send it back. Now here, we're gonna take the left hand to the right foot. So fingers point towards the midline, send that right arm back, and now extend through that leg. Find your twist. Gaze back at that right thumb, we hold here. Releasing that twist, we're gonna take that right foot to the outside of that left leg. Bring that left foot as close to that hip as you can, but the sole of the foot needs to stay on the mat. Send that knee a little closer to the chest, root down through that foot, grow a little taller. And as you send energy down through that foot, you should feel a nice release through that outside of that right hip, your glute, grow a little taller. And hold here. Again, root down through that foot. That's what's going to engage that stretch even more. Now we're going to come into half cow facing. You're going to have the option to go into full cow facing. We're going to float that right knee on top of the left. And then we're going to start to hinge forward. Now, if that's easy for you and you want to take it to a full cow facing, you're going to bend that bottom leg. You're going to stack those knees. And maybe we send those feet a little further apart. Once again, inhale, grow tall. Exhale, we start to soften. Melting the heart towards those knees. Find that stretch. It's a deep, deep stretch. Linger here. Last breath here. Go ahead and release that. Come up, nice tall stack spine. We're going to come right into fire log. So we're going to keep that left knee in line with the hip, and we're going to bring that shin parallel to the shoulders of the mat. We're going to float that right ankle onto that left knee. So this could be a pretty intense stretch right where it is. You can take, again, a pillow in between the knee and the ankle. But the goal in time is to try and stack that knee and the ankle on top of each other. Again, really deep. You'll notice that we're taking it even deeper into that hip. Once again, if you like, start to float forward. Relaxing torso over the legs. But keep those sit bone grounded. That right cheek's going to want to lift up off the mat. Don't let it. There's your stretch. Pretty intense stretch for the hips. Again, take it to where it makes sense for you. Pillows, a little nicer than blocks because blocks are so stiff. The pillows give you a nice option to give some space in between the knee and the feet. So our last breath here, we're going to walk it back. We're going to extend that right leg. We're going to take that left foot and we're going to send that left hand to the outside of that left foot. Bring that shin parallel. Let's change it up on this side now. Send that leg away. Feel that stretching through the back. Linger and then send that knee back behind the shoulder. Linger. So a couple breaths of each one. Again, we're not in any rush. Big stretch, just to feel juicy here, nice opening. Last one. And now soften that knee. We're going to take that right hand, the outside of that left foot, fingers to the midline. When you're ready, we're going to send that left arm back and that and that left leg away. Gaze back at that left thumb and hold. Nice spinal twist, should feel delicious. And now release that, come on back. We're going to bend that knee. We're going to take that foot to the outside of that right leg. Sending that foot as close to the hip as we can. Inhale, get tall through the spine, and then root that knee close to the heart. Send the energy down through that foot. Feel the stretch on the outside of the left glute, left hip. And once again, we're going to come into our cow facing. Half cow facing, left knee over right. Full cow facing, bend that right knee. So again, depending on how your hips feel today, they don't feel the same all the time. If you like, you can walk those feet away. You'll notice one side is gonna be a little bit more open than the other. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, to soften. Again, keep the sit bones grounded. They're gonna wanna come up, don't let them. And then just melt the heart towards the legs and we'll hold. And then just pay attention to what side is the more accessible side for you, what side's a little tighter, a little more resistant. Very telling on how we situate ourselves throughout the day, how we move. Last breath here. Walk it back. Coming into our fire log, we're going to take that right knee in line with the hip, shins parallel. And then when you're ready, float that left knee on top of the ankle. Foot on top of the right knee. Inhale, grow tall. So again, you decide how close that knee and ankle are. It's a pretty intense stretch. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, soften over. Again, don't let those cheeks lift. We're going to linger here. Last breath. Come on. Stack the spine. We're going to uncross those legs. Just send those legs out to start. Give them a little shake. Now we've worked the outside of the hips. We're going to get into the inner thighs. We're going to come into frog pose here. So you're going to take those knees as far apart as is comfortable for you to start. Important that those ankles are in line with the knees. We're going to start with the hips forward. Much easier to access this. And then when you're ready, we're going to send those hips back. We're going to press the knees into the mat. And we're going to soften. And as you press those knees together and send those hips back, you should feel a juicy stretch into those adductor muscles of those inner thighs. Again, welcome to take your block here. Rest your forehead on a block or a pillow. Send those hips back. Squeeze with the knees. Hold here. Press in a little bit more. Last couple breaths. And now before you come up, float the hips forward. Take the hands to the mat and then walk those knees in. Now we're going to come into hero's pose. And for those of you who know your knees don't like this, we'll do it twice. You'll stand up and do one at a time. But for those that like hero pose, we're going to keep the knees stacked underneath the hips. We're going to take the sit bones in between the ankles. Now what you want to avoid, whether you're standing or whether you're sitting, is those knees pulling apart. And then when you're ready, we can start to send the spine towards the mat. So again, this may be enough for you. You should feel a nice opening. You want to root the energy from the hip through the quadricep into the knee, into the mat. If it's available for you, you're going to take the spine to the mat. And then when you're ready, come on up and release that. For those that are standing, you're going to get set up for the other side. So really important, there's a lot of stretch classes on the YouTube channel. If you feel that these stretches are beneficial for you, throw them in anytime you want. You don't have to do the whole class. You can take a segment of it that makes sense for you. So once again, when you're ready, go ahead and come on back down. A lot of you have talked about hips being tight. A lot of good hip openers in this class. Again, press the energy through the quadriceps, into the knees, into the mat, towards the floor if you're standing. Find that stretch. Last breath here. We're slowly going to come out of it. And this time, if you're standing, I want you to drop your back down on your mat. You're going to take the tips of the toes together. You're going to spread those knees nice and wide. Float the hips back. Find your first child's pose. Extend. Soften the heart. Walking the hands off to the right. Send that left hip back. Maybe the left hand floats on top of the right and we soften again. Big stretch. Walking the hands to center. Let's send those hands off to the left. Send that right hip back. Maybe right hand floats on top of left. Go ahead and soften and hold. Walking back to center. Inhale, right hand high. Open the heart to the right. Now thread that arm underneath. Thread the needle, shoulder, ear to mat. You can take those left fingers, press them into the mat, send that left arm up, or tuck it around into that right hip crease as we open the heart up just a little bit more to the left edge of the mat. Go ahead and release that. Sending both arms forward one more time for a little pause first. And now inhale, left arm high, big stretch, big reach. Send it underneath that right arm, thread the needle. Ear and shoulder to mat. Maybe right hand comes up. Maybe we tuck it into that hip crease, but send that heart to the right edge of the mat. Hold here. And go ahead and release that. Come on back to center. Now walking the hands back. Take those knees underneath the hips. Finding your neutral tabletop position. From here, we're going to linger in our cat-cow. So inhale. Take the gaze up. Take the tail up. Let that belly get heavy to the mat. Exhale, chin to chest, puff that back up. So again, taking our time, rolling through our cat-cows. Couple more because it feels so good. Last one. And then coming back to neutral table. Send that right leg back, extended table, toes to the shin, left arm forward. Good for balance here. We hold. Now go ahead and bend that knee so we're sending the sole of the foot up to the heavens. We're going to send that left arm back, reaching for that ankle. And now push that leg away as we oppose it with the hand. Hold here. Go ahead and release that back to extended table. Take that left hand down, float those left toes down, press the toes into the mat, send the heel back, find a calf stretch. And release that, coming back to center. Let's do a couple cat-cows again, lingering. And then when you're done, we're going to meet back at the neutral table. Now this time we're going to send the other side away. So we had our right leg back last time, we're going to send our left leg back and our right arm forward. Hold here. If you've done it the opposite way, just make sure you're working the other side. And then go ahead and bend that knee, reaching back with that right hand. And again, send that leg away. So you get a nice stretch through the front of the pecs here as well. hold. And now release that, send that leg back. Right hand comes back to mat. We extend first and then float those toes down. Now send that heel back, find that calf stretch. Hold here. Now letting that relax, take that knee back to where it started in neutral table. One cat cow. While we're here, curl those toes under. We're going to come into bear, but not for long, ladies, just to wake up the belly a little bit again. Root the toes down, float those knees up, we hold. I'm not going to keep us here long, I promise, a stretch class. Just a little something for the core. Always a good thing to do. Hold for 3, for 2, and 1. Float those knees down. Walk the hands forward, send the toes back. You know where we're going, up through the hips. Let's find our first downward dog and walk it out. And just take note how the back of the legs are feeling, how those hamstrings feeling, how are those calves feeling. Now I want you to walk that right hand in line with the head, and the left hand's right beside it. I want you to float the right leg high. Inhale high, exhale, float the knee toward the chest, and take that right foot to the outside of that right baby finger. You're gonna drop that left knee. You're gonna root down through that right foot, and we're gonna pull the heart forward. Now, you can stay here, easier option, or you can come onto those toes. And we're rooting down, but we're pulling forward at the same time. So as we root down through those toes, you should feel a nice opening through the front of that left hip flexor. Don't let that right knee fall away from the body. Keep it tight to the midline. So the entire sole of the right foot starts on the mat. Now, if you want, you can come down onto your forearms, a bit of a deeper stretch, your choice. Now we're gonna let that right knee get heavy, and we're gonna come to the outside edge of the right foot. So we're karate chopping the mat with the outer edge of the right foot, the knee gets heavy, we're changing our stretch, hold here. So we're in lizard, and a variation of lizard here. Go ahead and take the sole of the foot back on the mat. If you're on your forearms, come onto your hands. And now bend that left knee. We're in a low crescent lunge. So adjust so that your knee is underneath your hip, your ankle's underneath your knee. Come on up nice and tall. Interlace your fingers on that right thigh. Float the hips forward. So again, getting back into that hip. Hold. Now go ahead and release that. We're going to send the hips back. We're going to root that right heel into the mat, toes to the shin. You can just soften the heart over that thigh. If you'd like, you can come into monkey pose or the splits, whatever you want to call it. And pull. Last breath here. And then when you're ready, we're going to take that right leg back. Take the hands in line with the shoulders first. Curl the toes under, up, pull those hips down, dog walk. And take a big breath in on the exhale, float forward, 5D plank. We're not here for long, I promise. Just to get some working through the shoulders, hold for 5. And now send those hips back. Walk it out. Taking that left hand in line with the head, right hand's right beside it. Float that left leg up. Inhale, knee to chest. Step that leg through. Foot's on the outside edge of that foot. Keep that knee tight to the shoulder. So again, you can drop that knee if you like. If you're on your toes, root through the toes. Taking it a little deeper, taking it to the forearms. So we're actually pulling ourselves forward as we root down through the foot and through those right toes. Hold here. Again, don't let that knee splay just yet. We're going to take it there momentarily. And now go ahead and let that left knee get heavy as we karate chop the foot and the mat. On the left side, root down through those right toes, pull the body forward, hold here. Last breath here, return the foot back to the mat. Come on back with the hands, go ahead and drop that knee. So again, walk that foot forward so that the knee is underneath the hip, the ankle's underneath the knee, and place your fingers on that thigh. Root down through the right knee, send the hips forward, find that stretch. So you can constantly adjust your feet so you make sure you stay stacked, you stay safe. And now go ahead and release that, send those hips back. Hands to the mat. Heel toe that foot forward, heel to the mat, toes to the shin. Once again, we're setting those hips back, we're softening. Take it to wherever it makes sense for you. And then when you get there, we're going to linger. Last breath here. And once again, we're going to start to send that left knee back, keeping the hands in line with the shoulders. Curl the toes under, up, go the hips down in the dog walk. Let that blood flow into those legs again. Then we're going to take that right forearm down and the left forearm down. So the shoulders are stacked above the elbows. We're going to float forward. We're going to find a low plank here, ladies, and hold. I promise we won't be here too long. Last breath here. Take the knees down. Uncurl the toes and the hips down, the belly down. Taking the arms alongside of the chest, tops of the feet are on the mat. Baby cobra, inhale, come up. Root down to the hips, soften the shoulders back, heart forward. And release. We're going to do this 2 more times. You can take it up progressively deeper each time. Big breath in on the exhale. Root through the feet. Push the heart away. Find your stretch. Again, don't let those elbows sway. Energy is straight back. Heart is open and full with gratitude. And release. Last time, welcome to take it to up dog if you prefer. When you're ready, repeat the tops of the feet. Open up through the heart. Find your stretch. Hold here. And release. Come on down. Take the hands in behind the body, interlace your fingers and let them rest on the sit bones. When you're ready, tops of the feet are heavy into the mat. Take your gaze forward, we're lifting the chest. Up it goes. Send those knuckles back as we float the arms parallel to the mat. Find your stretch. Big heart opening here. And release. We're going to do that 1 more time. Take a big breath in. Exhale, tops of the feet are heavy on the mat. Heart is forward. Send the knuckles back. Open up. Root through those hip bones. We come up a little higher. We hold for 5. And release. This time I want you to extend that left arm straight out. Take those right fingers underneath that right shoulder. Take a big breath in on the exhale. Let's open up the heart to the right. We lie on that left side. Welcome to take that right foot back, right arm up, or send that arm back. Root down through the front of that left shoulder. Open the heart, get a nice stretch in that pec hold here. And release, come on back to center. We're gonna send that right arm away. Left fingers underneath that left shoulder. Ears heavy on the mat. When you're ready, roll onto that right side. And again, welcome to take that left foot back, left arm back, but press down through that right shoulder. Find your stretch, hold here. And release, come back. Ladies, we're gonna take the arms underneath the shoulders. We're gonna inhale, cobra. We're gonna curl the toes under. And now send those hips back down the jaw. And now we're gonna come into pigeon here. So first float that right leg high. Bend that knee, open up the hip to the right. Let that let that right foot get heavy, but don't let that left hip pop out. Let that left heel get heavy so we find a little bit more stretch into that calf. We'll hold here. Now extend through that right leg. Inhale, knee to nose. Send that right knee to the right corner of the mat. Come on down with the hips. So what you want to avoid is dropping that right cheek. We lose our stretch. So a couple options here. If you are less than 90 degrees, as most of you will be, the toes pointed and long, it protects the knee. We keep those hips squared. That right cheek doesn't have to be on the mat. And then we're going to soften. Now, if it's available to you and your hips are a little bit more open, you can take that shin parallel to the short edge of the mat. And at this point, toes can melt towards the shin. Your choice. Again, we're not letting that right hip sag. If you have a pillow and you know that that cheek gets lazy, take a pillow underneath that right cheek. Support the stretch. Come on the forearms and we hold. Again, you want to be comfortable in this stretch. We're slowing things down. Because if we drop that right hip all the way to the mat and our hips aren't square, we're not doing ourselves justice. So the goal is not to keep that right hip on the mat. The goal is to keep those hips square. And as we linger in this pose a little bit longer, you should feel the softening into those hips, glutes. Take one more big breath here. Exhale, soften just a little bit more. And now we're going to start to pull our heart away from the mat, hands to the mat. Curl those left toes under, send that right leg back, walk it out. Downward dog. Let's even things out, ladies. When you're ready, that left leg goes up. Bend that knee, let that foot get heavy, but keep that right hip in line with the knee and the ankle. Don't let it jet out. Again, right heel gets heavy. We find some stretching in the calf muscle. Last breath here. Extend through that left leg. Inhale, knee to nose. Now send that left knee towards the corner of the mat. So again, if you're less than 90 degrees, the toes pointed and long. Choice is yours. Once again, the goal is not to have that cheek down on the mat. The goal is to keep those hips square. When you're ready, I'm gonna soften. You're gonna notice one side's gonna be a lot more open than the other. And then we relax. So again, you can take a pillow, not only just underneath the hip, but you can take it under the forehead as well. Your choice. Let everything go. Take a big breath here. Exhale, soften just a little bit more. And then when you're ready, once again, start to pull the heart away from the mat. Hands to the mat. Send that leg back, downward dog, and walk it out. Now keep some softness in the knees. We're going to walk the feet and the hands together to meet in the middle of your mat into a forward fold. So again, you can take your blocks underneath it. You can take your hands to shins, to feet, to mat, opposite elbow, whatever you decide. But let everything just get long. Root through those heels. If you want more of a stretch to the hamstrings, send those heels back and you soften the heart towards the legs. And while we're here, little circles with the head, tiny little circles, slow. Last one in this direction, take a little pause, send it the other way. Last one in this direction, now grab opposite elbow with opposite hand and have a little swing. Throw back to center, release the clasp on the hands. We're coming into Malasana, full squat. So if you know your hips aren't tight, take the toes towards the edges of the mat. You want your feet slightly wider than your hips so that you can take those hips, and as we start to bend the knees, drop the hips in between the knees. Solid foot on the mat. Take the shoulders in between the knees, hands to heart center. Push the shoulders away from the knees, squeeze the knees into the shoulders. We're going to hold that squat hold here. Again, press, knees in, oppose with the arms, we hold. And now, any way you want to, come on down, take the sit bones to the mat, extend through those legs. We're going to take that right arm straight out. We're going to let it cross the body, reach towards the left, peek towards the right, melt that heart a little closer. So either you can use your hands or the crux of your elbow, it's your choice. But we're reaching, we're extending, we're creating length. Hold here. Now taking your gaze forward and that arm forward, take the arm up with the palm, find your stretch. So we're taking that hand in between the shoulders. Option one, elbow and hand. Encourage those fingers down the mat, or you can come into a bind. Or if you're working on a bind and you're not quite there yet, you've got your strap. So whatever makes sense, but what you want to avoid is pressing down on the neck. Core is engaged, spine is tall. No pressure on the neck, and maybe the elbow starts to melt back to hold. Now go ahead and release that. Let's switch it up. Send those left fingers towards the toes. Let that arm across the body again. Hand or crux to the elbow. Reach and extend to the right as we peek to the left. Hold here. Just one nice stretch into the deltoids, shoulders. I'm taking that gaze forward and that hand forward, and flip that arm up, palm towards the back. Again, find that stretch. Elbows tight, big stretch to the tricep. No pressure on the head, we hold here. Last breath here. Go ahead and unravel those arms. Take a big breath in, bring the arms up towards the heavens. And on the exhale, take a bow. So again, your strap is there if you want to call on it. Go ahead. Let everything soften. And then once again, we're going to stack the spine. We're going to roll back one vertebrae at a time. You do it at your own pace. You want a little bit more core engagement, take it a little slower. You just want to stretch and get down to the mat. You right, go right ahead. Your choice, your practice, your rules. When the entire spine and the head gets the mat, go ahead and take those knees to the chest. Yogi's choice. You can come to happy baby, or you can take knees to chest, your options. Maybe we bring a little movement to the feet. We roll from hip to hip. We play with where those knees are in relationship to the torso. Again, taking that massage up and down the spine, or maybe you want to linger in one area that's particularly tight today. And then come on back to center. We're going to leave that right knee where it is. We're going to send that left leg down the mat. We're going to take up block or pillow in line with that. Yeah, we're going to be a couple minutes over today, but not that much longer. We're going to take the left hand to that right knee, and we're going to let that right knee get heavy onto the block. So I want you to press that knee actively into the block, and now take that right knee to the mat, hold here. Come on back to center. We're going to leave that knee where it is, and we're going to roll onto our bellies. We're going to let that knee get nice and heavy. We're going to press into it. Now, if you want more of a stretch, you can adjust the height of that block underneath the knee. But again, that leg is heavy on that block. Hips are nice and square to the mat. Forehead's resting. We hold here. Last breath here, coming back around on your back. We're going to float that block to the left side. Take that into the chest. Right hand to knee. Take that knee onto the block. So the lower the block is when we're doing the twist on this side, the more of a stretch. So if your hips are tight, keep the higher part of the block on the mat. And the opposite holds true when we roll into our bellies. So again, we're pressing that knee down, finding that opening of the glute, the hip. And now once again, we're going to leave that knee there. We're going to continue to roll onto our belly. Again, hips are nice and square. If you want more of a stretch, adjust your block. Again, knee is heavy on the block, knee is in line with the hip. Hips are square, soften the hips, mat. We hold. Last breath here. Once again, we're gonna make our way back onto our backs. Keep those blocks handy. You might want them for Shavasana. Once you're on your back last time, take your knees to your chest. Either happy baby or keeping those knees tight, your choice. But I want you to do that little inventory check in the body one more time, checking in with muscles and joints, your energy level, your headspace. How you feeling? Think about how you might like to spend final Shavasana, which props you may want to use. So some options, taking the blocks or pillows underneath the ankles, underneath the knees, underneath the thighs, maybe a heart opening in between the shoulder blades and support the head with the other block. You decide. But if you've come to the conclusion and you know how you want to spend Shavasana, I invite you to float your way into whatever version of Shavasana will serve you best today. Take the time to set up. We'll be here for about 4 minutes today. So once again, when you're ready, you want to feel grounded through the back body. You want to have a heart that's full. And if you did set an intention at the beginning of your class, go ahead and revisit that intention one more time. Carry it with you throughout the day. Let each exhalation take you just a little deeper into your mats, into your blocks. Let go of a little more tension. Find a little more relaxation. Maybe even take some of this calmness with you throughout your day today. Just settle in. So ladies, stay where you are. I'm gonna leave you with a quote today. This quote is on celebrating self. If you celebrate your differences, the world will too. It believes exactly what you tell it, through the words you use to describe yourself, the actions you take to care for yourself, and the choices you make to express yourself. Tell the world you are a one-of-a-kind creation who came here to experience wonder and spread joy. When you're ready, we'll find our way to a comfortable seated position in your own way, in your own time. And when you arrive in that seated position with a nice tall stacked spine, we'll take your hands to the heart and bow to that heart. Always grateful that we're well enough to make it to our mat, that we chose to be here, and we have each other to keep us honest and true to our mats. I honor the place in you where the whole universe resides, and when you are in that place in you, and I am in that place in me, we are one. Namaste.